Cool. All right, well, I just wanted to say happy belated Valentine's Day. I hope you guys all enjoyed the weekend with any loved one or just enjoyed some time to yourself. But to begin, just wanted to say a welcome. Welcome to Aztec Adaptive Sports. This is our second actual general body meeting, and we just wanted to say thanks to everyone who could come out, especially because we have two special guests here to speak to us. And if you're interested in any of our socials, they will always be up here, and these slides will be sent at the later time this week with an email out too. But okay, well, to begin, we are just going to talk a little bit just like about what events we have coming up. And then we will introduce a guest speaker. And then at the end, we do ask that all our members can stick around because we have just a few like AAS like housekeeping things to keep up with. So Harari, you want to introduce our icy dance breaker?
You're muted, Harari.
Yeah.
That is embarrassing. I said a whole 3 sentences. Okay, yes, so we have our icebreaker dance edition. We're gonna put you guys in breakout rooms just to get to know each other, like some of the guest speakers or the board members or other members. And we want you guys to share your favorite go-to dance move, whether it be at the club or just at home. Nothing too crazy, but just like a little one. Yeah. And please participate.
Yeah, and Madeline, if you want to actually pause. Alrighty. So I hope you guys can see the screen. Thank you guys for participating in a little icebreaker. It's also kind of a good thing, especially once the classes start up again. Get up, move, shake a little. It's fun. But moving into some, just really quick before we get into the meeting, we did want to just show you guys the plans for the semester. If you guys wanted to take like a screenshot, go ahead. The Zoom link is always going to be the same for the GBMs as well as most of the socials. But today we have the guest speaker, and then our next GBM won't be until March 1st. So just know that they're bi-weekly, and it'll be a fun game, like interactive for all the members to come attend. But next week on Thursday, the 25th, is a Zoom workout with Coach AJ from the Adaptive Athletics program at 7 p.m. So be sure to mark your calendars. He's going to be doing a workout with us and also showing how he adapts it for the athletes on the teams. So definitely be sure to check it out if you can. And then we have a few things coming up later on, but we'll speak more on that later too. Caroline, if you want to talk about your social last week.
Thank you to everyone who came. It was really fun. If you missed out, you should definitely try to do it. So we made a s'mores mug cake. And if you look on the right, then that's like my personal mug cake. And then in the background, we just have like a little photo of everyone that joined. But it was really good. So if you guys ever want to try it out, then like find the PowerPoint, click on the link, and then, just make yourself a little personal mug cake, even though it was enough for like 2 people, maybe 3.
All right. And then Taylor, if you actually want to do this slide.
Yeah, no problem. So just like Justin said, there's going to be a Zoom workout with Coach AJ. That's going to be on the 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. No equipment is required, so you're going to be able to do this in your own house. We'll be joined with some of our adapted athletes that are going to join onto the call and some members of CORE. So Coach AJ is one of the SESU adapted athletics coaches, who's a certified strength and conditioning specialist and a certified functional strength coach. He'll be leading the workout while also giving some insight into his life, as well as let's see, oh my bad. He'll show some insight as a personal trainer for Paralympic athletes. We will be joined again by all the adapted athletes and CORE. So it's going to be really, really cool. And CORE is one of the kinesiology orgs on campus, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. And then take it away, Harari.
Yeah, so today we have two special guest speakers. We have Miss Karma and Miss Yvonne from Wheelchair Dancers Organization. They're a local organization in San Diego that teaches Zoom dance classes. As of right now, they used to do in person, um, but they're here to speak with us today. So, Miss Karma and Miss Yvonne, you can unmute yourselves. Um, let's start and have both of you introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Carmel Ladonna. I'm the dance director for Wheelchair Dancers. And one little mishap in the morning and right before, we're not Zoom, we're Dance It Out. There's two difference. So we do Wheelchair Dancers, which is a nonprofit that's been in San Diego for 10 years. And we have had 8 fundraisers. We usually have our fundraisers, of course, in person at the Balboa Club in Balboa Park. This year was our first virtual. It was interesting to say the least. None of us at that point when all this started had any virtual experience. Everything that we did was in person. We started out with just ballroom classes, and we had ballroom classes, and then we had Dance It Out fitness exercise on Saturdays. Well, then all this started. And we were kind of going, what are we going to do? So then Michelle was our master trainer for Dance It Out. We don't do Zoom, we do Dance It Out. And the person that started this, Beverly Wording, she started it 10 years ago. Well, she was ready to step down. And then I see it if Michelle would help. She's an incredible person. And so she took over, and then the COVID hit. And everything was not in person anymore. It was virtual. And it was just like, okay, what are we going to do now? Michelle jumped in, and we started with ballroom classes and dance fitness. Now we have ballroom, country western, Dance It Out, Latin jazz, hip hop, island fusion, and Bollywood. I think that's it. Is that it, Yvonne? Yeah. And hopefully we'll have more. I even talked to Harari about maybe teaching us whacking, So we're always open for any kind of dance. I started dancing when I was 50. I started singing professionally when I was 5, and did not much dancing. And then when I turned 50, I decided, I want to dance. And I was standing up, and I danced for 17 years standing up, getting ready to compete. My arthritis got the best of me. Now I'm in a chair. I can't see it, but I'm in a chair. And I was living in Long Beach when I got in a chair, and there was nothing there for me other than standing up dancing. And it was really hard. The people that I danced with for 17 years, they didn't want to go dancing with me because I didn't dance, So it was just like, I not only lost the ability to dance, I lost some of my friends, And so I found Wheelchair Dancers in San Diego and drove down every week for a year until I found a place to live. And now I'm their dance director, and I'm just having the best time. They saved my life. I don't know what to tell you. It's just amazing, Ballroom in person is very easy. Online, it's not so easy because you need a partner. So we really had to do a lot of trying to figure it out, how to do it. We've ended up with some moves, and then we got all these other wonderful, wonderful teachers. And now we're just on the road to who knows what. I'm so excited about the progression that has happened. I'm not excited about the virus and all that, but I don't know whether we would have got where we are today without that. So out of kind of ugly stuff came some really wonderful stuff. And I'm just so excited to see where we're going to go. We will always have virtual classes now, along with in-person classes, hopefully in-person classes, but we will always have virtual classes. 2 weeks ago, we had actually international. We had somebody from Poland, we had somebody from Italy, and somebody from Kenya. So that was really exciting. That was the first time that we'd ever had kind of global people. We've had them from all over the United States, West Coast, East Coast, middle of the coast. I mean, we've had them from everywhere, but it was the first time that we'd ever had international. So that was really exciting. So we're excited to be here. We're excited to know where we're going to go. We're excited to help people see that dancing is not just a stand-up sport. Anybody, whether you're in a wheelchair or using a walker or using a cane or just sitting in a chair, you can move, you can get your heart rate up and have a wonderful time and meet some great, great people. I met Yvonne dancing. She popped into wheelchair dancing about 3 years ago, and we've been besties ever since. We do hip hop together, and she's just a joy to be with. So I'm going to turn it over to Yvonne and see what she has to say. Tell us about yourself, Yvonne.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yvonne Petros, and I am a certified cardio fitness instructor in different organizations. And I'm also a adaptive dance instructor, hip hop dance, which I co-teach on Thursdays for the wheelchair dance organization. A little background about myself. My disability is polio, so I contracted it when I was 17 months old. I was very active. I had a very active childhood, I should say. I was always into adaptive type of sports. I started off as swimming, and then it led from swimming to powerlifting, from powerlifting to field events like javelin, shot put, discus. Then it went to hand cycling. Then from hand cycling, I still year before last, well, a little background more is I started my career in Michigan, so the it's kind of like a combination of two. Sports was my thing, and but yeah, music was like my bigger thing. So hip hop was a big thing for me, like you know, uh, hip hop music, the culture, just everything about it kind of like gravitated to me because like I love breakdancing. I love, it's like um just just the whole hip hop scene. Um so basically because of my disability, I have polio and I'm going through post polio, so it has stages. So my muscle density is losing its power regardless of how active I am. So I tried to stay active to slow down the progression of me losing it. So I went from sports to um kind of like transition. I did a transitional phase each time. I also played basketball for 8 years. I was on a wheelchair basketball league. It was all men's team, and I was the only female on the team at the time. So, right, I have to represent for the ladies. so, so I did that for on top of still competing in the Paralympic Games. I'm a four-time MVP, player of the year in the the Paralympic regional games. I have over 100 medals of gold and silver and a few bronze. Um, what else? I'm a single mom of two. I still have, of all that, I have a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old girls. And I still try to maintain and stay active as much as I can. And dance has definitely been my go-to because I moved from Michigan to California because the weather there was starting to really affect my bones, and I didn't want to stop competing or dancing or anything. And then definitely didn't want to stop being a mom. I still had to raise my daughters. So I moved out here, and shortly after I got out here, I was a busybody. So I was like, when in Michigan, I never sat down. And I'm a co-founder of peer support program at the rehab center down in Michigan. And so my thing was is always I've always been an active advocate for people with disabilities, and I've always been like a real pusher on helping young people, especially do something. Whether a lot of us don't want to do fitness. Some of them don't want to. They rather do dance. Some of them want to do other kind of sports, and I get a lot of people that will email me like, "Hey, can you?" So I've turned into kind of like a referral. So I was like, "Hey, I refer them to here, refer them to there." So shortly when I moved to California 3 years ago, and I did my research. So I contacted. Um, I'm sorry. Let me step one back. When the last time before I left Michigan, I ended up doing competitive ballrooming. So, once I left competitive ballrooming and I moved to California, I contacted Wheelchair Dance Organization. I just Googled them and they were the first thing that popped up. And I ended up talking to Beverly and I'm telling her my story like, hey, I'm a ballroom dancer and is there anything here in San Diego like that? Because as far as my sports is concerned, I had to go. I'm an ambassador for Triumph Foundation and they kind of do a lot of adaptive sports. So I was driving back and forth to LA because I couldn't find like locally things to do in San Diego at the time. So it was like, okay, so I used to just make the trip, just to try out different sports, which I didn't mind. But I'm like kind of excited to hear, like your guys' program here in San Diego because it's like, yay, finally, something going locally, instead of
Mhm.
have to always go out. And so, yeah, so I kind of like transitioned to that, and then dancing came along, and because the powerlifting and all this other stuff put a toll on me. So I was like, okay, what can I do to stay active? And basically, that's what this is all about. Just staying as active as possible, especially being with a disability and in a chair. You know,
Mm.
um, we lose our density very quickly. We lose our abilities, no matter how hard we work on them and gain them back. We lose them instantly. So I was not having laying in bed. It was not my go-to. So I got with the dance organization, and we kind of formed a leadership group and said, "Hey, okay, now we have this pandemic. What are we going to do as far as our community? Like yes." Sometimes it was difficult for them to get to us because of transportation issues as far as our dance classes. So we're like, okay, well, let's do it online. Like let's try because everybody you started seeing on Facebook, people doing Zumba and other type of formats and stuff like that, and we're like, wait, what about adaptive dance? Like let's bring in able-bodied instructors and team up together and create. And that's what we end up doing with our organization is we created this program where it's all inclusive, everybody's invited. So we have a able-bodied instructor, professional able-bodied instructor, and professional wheelchair instructors, and kind of like side by side. And that's basically what we do. So I'm more of a question and answer type of person. So
No, definitely. Thank you so much for everything you mentioned. And for Miss Karma as well. I think one thing, or before I get to that, yeah, definitely like our program on campus, adapted athletics has only been around for the maybe past like 3 years. So it is fairly new, but we're hoping that, there will be more organizations that pop up in San Diego because I feel like we have a very good variety of adaptive organizations, especially in San Diego, right?
yeah.
So compared to Michigan, like how
Mhm.
or what's like the comparison or the differences between your adaptive community in Michigan and like in Southern California?
Um, Unity. We
Mm.
unite in Michigan. Everybody unite, even though we might be rivalries, but we unite. So we
Oh.
we what we did is we created a coalition of
Mhm.
everybody would send a liaison from each organization, and we used to do like a big thing together. And that's one thing I kind of miss. I feel like here I don't know. Everybody just like it's so to this person, that person, this person. Instead of like uniting together and become one strong entity kind
Mhm.
of thing, or even a referral kind of thing. It's like, hey, they live too close or they live too far. Can you guys, can they join yours? That kind of thing. So that's what I see the difference between the two. And then I think for me it'll be a bias because I've always been on a team. So
Mhm.
when I came here, I'm an individual now. I don't have a team. I don't have my squad with me. I don't have my 20 teammates anymore, so I
Interesting.
can't really say, and I'm still learning, I'm still learning
Mhm.
about different organizations. So I'm not knocking anyone, it's just what I've just seen the past 3 years. I just feel like the unity could be a little bit stronger within the disability community as far as different organizations.
Absolutely. That's actually something we haven't really heard from a lot of our guest speakers, but that's really interesting to know because there are, as you say, like a lot of organizations, but they don't really contact each other. And even us, like reaching out to you guys, it feels like a newer thing to do, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
that's really interesting. That's good to
Yeah,
know.
like I said, we've never really done this before.
Mhm.
Right.
We've done performances, guest performances and stuff like that, but we've
Mhm.
never been invited to just talk, and talk about our difficulties, our hopes, our dreams, all that kind of stuff. So this is really, it's wonderful,
Oh,
we
we're so happy to
appreciate
have you
being
guys.
we appreciate being in the invitation.
Of course, and thank you for being here. Like this is such a nice opportunity to get to know like other organizations in San Diego as well.
See, I've been in entertainment most of my life. I started singing when I was young,
Mhm.
and I've never really been a part of anything other than theater or
Mhm.
music. You know, uh, and when I drove down every week from Long Beach. I was living in Long Beach. I drove down every week for a year
Mhm.
to join the wheelchair dancers. And it was just like, oh, there's something other than theater.
Right.
I
On
think
that
a lot
note,
of time is the sacrifice that we make just to stay busy,
Yeah.
mhm.
and having it locally would be like a world of difference. Like, hey, um, it's like do a North Cal and South Cal type thing, or SoCal and North Cal. So it's like I
Yeah.
think it'll be very. I mean, because what I noticed now is like they just have like a women's wheelchair basketball, and it's like I like trying like different stuff too. Like, I've like tennis, I've tried, water skiing and, just different sports as far as just adaptive alone. And,
Mhm.
um, and I don't know, it always just came back to dance kind of at the end of the day, but to
Mhm.
have it all here would be amazing.
Absolutely. And on that note, I'm curious because there's a lot of like dance teams in San Diego. There's like 220, Culture Shock. There's all these like studio teams, especially like in the hip hop realm. Are there dance teams or like performances that you guys do annually, like post COVID? That's readily
Yes.
available for you guys.
Yeah. There's several things that we do every year when we do in person.
Mhm.
There's we do our fundraiser, which was always in September, end of September, the beginning of October,
Mhm.
and we drew about 500 people at the Balboa Club, and everything was free, and we did an hour performance,
Mhm.
and we have a hip hop crew, and the hip hop teacher that we had for our crew, we still have the crew. The hip hop teacher is his health is not great. So he's not teaching for us anymore, but we still have our crew.
Mhm.
And we've done performances at other studios that don't do wheelchair.
Mhm.
So it's fun to be able to share with different dancers. And for a dancer like me, Yvonne's a sports person. I ride horses and dance. That's really all I've ever done. I was short. I was never good at basketball. I was never very strong. I liked volleyball, but people always shot over me and then I'd get hurt. So, I was never really a sports person. I
Mhm.
sang and I danced. you know? So it's funny that Yvonne went to LA to get the sports, and I was in LA and came to San Diego to get the dance.
Mhm.
So we like crossed each other a bunch, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
We do well. Like my partner, was associated with Culture Shock. Troy
Hey.
Wilson is my co-partner, and
Mhm.
he's from Culture Shock. And we also have Ramon Ivy. He's also from Cultures. So we interact with different dance companies. Um,
Mhm.
so yes, I mean we also get requests like, hey, can would you guys be willing to do a performance for us, with us? And so like I said, we just started, so everything's new.
Mhm.
It's like being asked to come present for you guys. It was like we're like like, wait, what do we do? What is this about? Like we're just so used to like, okay, turn the music on and let's go, that kind of thing. So actually this is a fresh of breath air, because it's like it gives me more insights on like what's going on out there, and like this
Yeah,
is very,
absolutely.
very interesting. Sorry, I talk with my hands a lot, so don't mind me.
No problem. I do the same thing. I'm just like
So I kind of
typing.
noticed that. I'm like, wait, put your hands down, girl.
Yeah. I have a few more questions, but before I, get to those, I want to open it up and see if anyone else has any questions first. You can unmute yourselves or type it in the chat box if you feel comfortable that way as well.
Well, come on, let's hear your voice.
I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say your stories are super inspiring, and I love how you guys strove to stay active despite not maybe being able to participate in sports, but dancing is a super fun alternative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Go for it.
Really quick. Well, first off, thank you, Yvonne and Carmen, for heading to the AAS meeting today. Yvonne, you talked about something that I think is really important here, where you're like, hey, it's not as uh, the difference between Michigan and here is that over in Michigan, most of the groups are sort of like together, or there's some sort of collaboration between them. Whereas over here, things are kind of like more separated. This person's doing that over there and over here. What do you think would be a good way to have some of these different adaptive sporting groups kind of come together in any way, shape, or form? Especially given that in the next 7-8 years, we're going to be having the Paralympic Games here in Los Angeles, right, where Southern California is going to be a premier destination for this. So, how would you propose? How should people start coming together to
I
kind of
would say create a disability coalition. And what I mean by that is just having different organizations, whether it's dance, whether it's adaptive sport, anything dealing with disabilities of any sort, and having maybe a liaison from each organization, and have like maybe once or a quarterly meeting, and just kind of see where everybody what they're doing, and maybe also do some kind of events together, like, hey, we're doing a tennis camp or whatever it may be. Do you guys want to do it? Do you want to do a dance class as a halftime show, or that kind of thing? So I guess just working together, I would say it would be my suggestion. Is like, how can we work together and put the egos aside? It's like and just be for the community,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
The good of everybody.
Yeah.
yeah,
Did
no,
that answer your question? I'm sorry.
yeah, no, that's I think that's one of the one of the key things here, and one of the reasons why I do appreciate things like AAS, where people are just coming in to just talk about things, because I don't think this happens enough, right? People are stuck kind of in programming or in their fundraising ways, and things have been ran a certain way for a while. So with things like AAS here, it's almost like a breath of fresh air, like you guys said, where it's like, hey, we're not here to talk about necessarily program or competition or anything like that. It's just, just stories and talking about what's happening, So that's just that's a key thing in all of this. So no, you answered the question. Thank you.
Mhm. You're welcome.
All right.
Your
Thank you,
hair's
Akila.
good.
Right, I'm liking it
Thank
bad.
you.
It was one
And
of I'm just playing.
Does
we have-
anybody else have any other questions?
Justin, do you want to
one.
throw one there?
Yeah. How
Sorry.
many, what are the disabilities in your organization?
Oh, that's a great question.
So
Akil,
all of you guys are like staff?
We're the
so
student organization, so we're just SDSU students who come together to learn about adaptive sports. And there's actually the program side, we call it, which is the actual athletes, adaptive athletes, and Akil is actually like the athletic director type of person that runs that. So if you want to take that question, Akil.
Yeah. The different disabilities with us, we have like spinal cord injury, we have quad, we have amputation, we have, oh my goodness, we have cerebral palsy, dwarfism. Those are the kind of ranging ones. I mean, what I intended when I made this program is to not have it be so focused towards like ambulatory athletes or focused towards just wheelchair-based athletes, because I realized most of the college programs go one or the other. So on purpose, I was like, I kind of want every disability here if I can. And recently we've had a few athletes that have visual impairments reach out. So I think we're getting towards a more all-inclusive program, if you would.
Oh, that's cool. Well, when we were, doing everything virtual at the War Memorial, we were just doing ballrooms and we were always practicing. We did line dances and stuff like that. And we had about equal amount of people in wheelchairs and people that are not. And so one day, but all of the people that we were dealing with understood directions very clearly. And then we started having groups of people coming in with developmental disabilities, and they were having a really wonderful time, but it was really a difficult time for the teachers, me being one of them, to incorporate them in what we were already doing. We still haven't really got that down to a science, and we were just starting to get it pretty good, and then we went virtual. Well, that problem doesn't enter in virtual, only when we're in person. So we really haven't actually figured that out yet. They always had a good time, and we tried to continue our classes like we normally did, but it was kind of hard. And so that's something that if we get back, hopefully we get back into in person, that we will work on that. And anybody that has any ideas on that, please contact us and let us know how we can do that if we ever get to do in person again.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. What I was gonna say is, especially when it comes to intellectual disabilities, we should probably connect. And I'll actually just task with Madeline and Jeshin right now, because there is an organization here on campus called Best Buddies that would probably want to jump all over that opportunity, because they primarily work with individuals with intellectual disabilities trying to do different sports and things like that. And I think that's something that Madeline and Jeshin may be able to. There may be some ideas coming from our group, but that was just one thing that came to my head right now with the group that was like, you know what, how do they maybe do their dance? How maybe do they interact, especially when they have the varying levels of people that are with them too. How do, and and just like kind of how you said, there's like they mostly deal with intellectual, but then there's always an able-bodied person kind of attached to that person. So
Yeah.
how do they interact? How do they instruct? How do they do certain things or not do certain things? So I'll kind of leave that to Madeline and Jeshin.
That would be like a sensitivity training with a panel of different experts, whether like you have one person in a wheelchair or a cognitive person or a person with visual. I think when you have like that type of panel, you get better insights on and different organizations too that deal with those, so like a panel setting, I think, or a forum of some kind where every organization has like maybe 3 minutes to explain what they do and stuff like that, and kind of do have a Q&A. That way you could really get an understanding of how how they work with individuals. I know for us, yeah, it was a challenge for me too, but as far as working with a person with a cognitive, it was just kind of like, for me it was like, okay, take it more slower with them, or like uh you know having more patience as far as because they're getting their movements mixed up, and kind of just giving them that encouragement, like, hey, you're doing a great job, and just seeing their face light up is like, okay, forget the steps, let's just have fun with it, that kind of thing. So I think that it has a lot to do with sensitivity training, and just the more we try different things or experience different situations, the better we become. And I think that's
Yeah. I know I was dancing with a little guy, and he was just kind of hanging on and pulling me, but there was one part where he was supposed to go towards the center, and I was directing him to go towards the center, and he was so excited that he did it. He just started jumping up and down. Yay, 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 I did it. And I got so excited I started crying, I was so touched that he was so excited that he just did this main little turn and walked into the center like he was told to do. He was so excited about it. And stuff like that is what opens up my heart for what I do.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's hard not to cry when I'm so excited for people,
Definitely. And I think that's like the greatest part about like this dance community, right? Like you get to meet so many different people from so many different places and just connect on different life journeys and just enjoy this thing that we have called dance.
And it's therapeutic for us too, it's like, just the dance moment takes us away and puts us on a whole nother, pedestal kind of thing. And it's like, you know, that's just like any performer that goes out there and has, either an audition that they're trying to nail or just a performance. You just get taken away by it, and just for that split moment or that 2 minutes, 3 minutes, however time it is, you lose yourself in that moment, and then it's like, okay, you don't worry about what's going on out in the world, and all you think about is that performance.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, we are in our last couple minutes, so I just wanted to ask you each one last question before we have to end our call. In what ways can our members connect with your organization or the adaptive community overall? Maybe even share where your social media handles are. That would be fantastic.
I think if you all came to our classes, when you register, you go to the website and register. All the registration, all the people that register and everything, that shows that we are getting our message out, and it helps us get grants because all of our classes are free. All of our instructors are paid. Some of our instructors give their time, but we do pay our instructors because that's their living. It's like if you were a policeman or a fireman or whatever, that's their living. So some of our instructors are kind and give us their time, but we do pay our instructors, but all of our classes are free.
And actually on that note, the members or the eBoard members and if any of the members want to join, we're going to drop into Miss Yvonne and Troy's hip hop class this Thursday. It's at 5:15 p.m. We'll put it in our group me chat as well, so we can all register together. And yeah, like Taylor said, show our best dance moves.
And then
So
and then Fridays, hip hop is Thursday. Friday
Mhm.
we have a country western class. Saturday we have an incredible instructor for our Dance It Out, Troy. He's
Mhm.
from Chicago, and he's done a lot of choreography for Dream Girls and Peter Pan and a bunch of different things. And he's just a personality all in itself. He has you sticking your tongue out and saying words without R's, and he's a funny, fun person. His name's
Yeah.
Pepper Vaughn,
Oh, Pepper Vaughn.
and he's our Saturday. So please join us in all those.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to having all of us in your classes. Any last words? We unfortunately only have a few minutes left.
I just want to say WDOinclusivedance.org is our official website. So if you go to there, mine I post a lot of like my classes and stuff on my personal page. So yeah, you could also use Wheelchair Dance Organization, but now it's WDO. There's no dot between inclusive. It's all one word. WDO Inclusive Dance .organization. And let me see what else.
Okay.
My personal page is Yvonne E with the apostrophe VAN, and my last name is Petros Petros, and I kind of wrote it like that because people always pronounce my name wrong, so it's like that's why I got the Yvonne and hyphen. So right. So yeah, we tend to like post a lot on our own personal pages and kind of put it out there. And my Instagram is the same thing. It's actually it's Yvonne EVANT313. And I use that same platform for all of them.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Karma and Miss Yvonne, for joining us today. It was so lovely to have you both today. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
making
much for
time.
having us.
Absolutely. Right after this, we're going to go over some housekeeping things for our members. So feel free to leave the call if you'd like to. You can stay tuned if you wish. But we will be going and finishing
Well,
our
before I leave,
slides.
if you ever need us, please feel free to reach out because I don't mind helping any way I can to
Exactly.
help the community.
My email is dancin, DANCIN, fool, FOOLE, at hotmail.com. Dancin' Fool. And I am. Please contact me if you need anything, you want us to come back, you want to dance with us, you want to partner with us, anything, please call.
Absolutely.
It was nice meeting everybody, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank
Bye.
you. You as well.
Thank you all. Love you both.
Yay. With the E for Dancing Fool.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we have a few things on there, but yeah, in the chat there were some corrections. You can still get the link to their classes through the Wheelchair Dance Organization. It'll just redirect you there anyways. Either one. And then they do have an email to respond to as well that we put on there. But if you're interested, we have the Facebook and Instagram on here. Again, these slides will be sent out after the meeting if you guys are interested. But Harari, if you want to mention the class.
Yeah, so like we said earlier, we will be dropping into their Thursday class, at least, us and some of the e-board members that can make it. So if any of the members want to join us, take Yvonne's class. I personally do know Troy, and he is like just a light in the room. So he's super, super fun to take class with as well. So if you can register on their website, like they said, you might have to make an account or something, and it'll send you the Zoom link. It is free. And it's at 5:15 this Thursday, so come please join us. And if you just want to take, Zoom virtual classes anyways, they do free classes all the time. So you can see the rest of their schedule on their website as well.
Yeah, and it's cool because they switch it up monthly, like the different classes they had. because they have like country this month, but like last month they had Bollywood. So it's really cool. And then they have like special guests, and they're really kind and nice. And their group, you definitely see the energy when they're all together. I watched just like a couple of their videos that they posted once they transitioned to virtual.
Mhm.
And I definitely think they kept up the energy, and everyone just seems to have a blast, especially a lot of the people who come to attend their classes.
Mhm.
So if anyone was interested, just be sure to come this week when a majority of us get to go attend.
Yeah, and if you're interested, this is a point opportunity. So if you want points for the club, come join that too.
And then we're just gonna talk about like super small, just housekeeping things for AS, just dues, points, and then e-board actually moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Caroline, do you mind?
Yes. If Caroline is available.
All right. So dues, those you can pay them to Aztec Adaptive Sports on Venmo. It's just going to be $10 this year, and we just have like a little description of what the dues are used for. So those include like website subscriptions, equipment, supplies, compensation, and then also foods for GBMs normally. And we still do prizes every now and then, so that's also included. So just once again, Venmo at Aztec Adaptive Sport. Thank you all.
All right. And then actually, Remy, if you're able to just break down points, not all the details, but
Yeah, so sorry, I talked about this last week. This is just a more digestible way for us to present the point opportunities. The main points of this are the main points that you have to have 8 points per semester to be an active member, and you have to be a dues paid member for those 8 points to count. And then if you have 50 points at the end of your time at SDSU, then you will get a cord for being an active member in this organization. So there's points for coming to this event, point for paying dues, point for going to events, point for going to service. There's recruitment opportunities, and then promotion opportunities to get points.
yeah, so there's a lot of things that you guys could do to keep up and stay involved this semester with us. Even though we're virtual, we're trying to make the most of it. And Madeline, if you want to mention eBoard next year.
Yes, as you guys know, a lot of our e-board is graduating, leaving a lot of positions open on board. And we would love for all of you guys to apply and to interview. If you want to join executive board, you get to work with a super cool team. We have the prospective members form out right now, but you can always just contact us. And then we'll be rolling out an official application pretty soon.
Okay. Yeah, and I think, oh yeah, so then regarding like GroupMe, it does seem like everyone who did come today, you guys are involved in or added into the GroupMe. But if there's someone that you think might be interested in the org, you can always just add them to the GroupMe as well, or let them know to come in, because that's one of the ways that we easily communicate with everybody. So yeah, just be sure to always look at the GroupMe regarding events and things like that. But that's all we got for you today. Thanks for coming, and let us know if you guys have any questions. We have like another minute or so, but no. Madeline, you can stop recording now.
Okay.